back to the ICC. So I want to put this into context for you. We are the American Center for Law and Justice, through our European Center for Law and Justice affiliate in Strasbourg, France, is going to be filing a brief with the International Criminal Court in The Hague. A order was issued yesterday or day before, and it is rather lengthy because there's a lot of people participating. But I want to go to Skip Ash, who is our senior counsel in charge of our international affairs section of the ACLJ, to also talk about what this case involves. You're seeing on the screen, those are watching on Facebook and Periscope, those are the documents, the initial documents of the order, and as well as our initial submission. So people understand is the prosecutor has filed basically an intent to conduct an investigation. And she's preparing her team to investigate what she calls war crimes and crimes against humanity allegedly committed by Israelis against Palestinians. The question is, who submitted this request for representation, but also what constitutes the Palestinian state? Is part of the concern here that she may well try to get the court to decide the statehood of the territory known as the Palestinian territory?
I think that's precisely what she hopes to accomplish, because if the court were to say that territory X, Y, and Z was legitimately a part of this so-called state of Palestine, then she would have the jurisdictional reach to go after any Israeli crimes or alleged Israeli crimes that took place in those places. So I think that's exactly what she hopes will come out of this, and this would be the Palestinians getting statehood through the back door, because remember, in the Oslo Accords, they agreed that these issues, the issue of borders and territory and everything else, would be decided via bilateral negotiations with the Israelis, and they don't get what they want from the Israelis because they're not willing to give and take in these negotiations, and therefore they're trying a different way, and they're trying now to use the ICC as a means of getting recognition of their state.
I wanted to go to Than on this, and there was a lot of movement at the end of the Obama administration, Than, on issues involving Israel. And even when the incoming administration was requesting not to make final decisions, they did anyways.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this is what Skip was alluding to. First of all, let me just set the foundation with this, Jay. I mean, these international bodies are always trying to get these footholds of jurisdiction against either Israel or the United States. But on this issue of Palestinian statehood, I think Skip is absolutely correct to call this a backdoor approach, because it was at the very, very end of the Obama administration that they walked away from long-standing U.S. policy that the United States would veto a resolution on this issue of statehood at the Security Council. They declined to veto that, so that resolution went forward. And Jay, I think that gave the Palestinian Authority the thought that maybe they would win it in that jurisdiction. Of course, then you had a change of administration, and this administration, the Trump administration, quickly walked that back. And so I really think that's why they're taking this issue to the International Criminal Court. Of course, the United States is not a party, but Jay, this is why we take these issues seriously. This is why we show up, even though it is in many ways enemy territory, because you can't really have something that's more important to a nation's self-determination than their sovereignty. We're going to show up and defend that.
The idea, Harry, that a court would make this political determination, the concerns that people have had about the International Criminal Court is because of things like this.
Absolutely. But I think it's important and imperative to remember that the ICC is dominated by global elites who wish to ignore traditional rules and essentially create new rules based on their own individuated conception of justice. So here we have a situation where the prosecutor is really asking the ICC to create the state of Palestine, which is contrary to international law, and then to impose penalties on a sovereign nation, the state of Israel, for alleged war crimes and humanitarian violations. So this is a breathtaking power grab by an individual who does not have the power under international law. So essentially, this is all fictional, but if the ICC accepts this fictional claim, it does place Israel squarely in the crosshairs of the international community. And then it's more likely than not that the Palestinians will go to the Europeans and then they will say, we have this ICC decision and you cannot deal, at least with the Israelis in these disputed territories?
There are 7 countries, 7 states that are members of the Rome Statute who are committed to its terms, who are coming and are going to be filing briefs in support of Israel and the fact that there is no Palestinian state, or if there is one, it is not significant enough to be able to bring the charges it has brought. And that is significant, and I think that's a great encouragement on this argument.
No question. Let me give you the states. It's the countries: the Czech Republic, Germany, Australia, Austria, Brazil, Hungary, and Uganda. And then a number of NGOs will be filing. That's us. And there will be groups that are opposing. That's why we're there. That's why we're going to court. Brief is due March 16th.